The final chapter test has a sample test that I'm going to go over every question on that should be very similar to the actual test. So the first question on the sample test gives me an original integral. It asks me to rewrite that integral, then integrate and simplify. It starts out as 9 over x to the 5th dx. First thing I want to do is pull out that constant 9, write that in the box out front. Second thing I want to do is rewrite this x to the 5th on bottom as an x to the negative 5th when I bring it to the top. Now that I've got it with the constant outside, just the power of x dx, I can integrate. I use my reverse power rule, so I add 1 to the power. What was negative 5 becomes negative 4. I then divide by the new power. So when my integrate step comes up, I have 9 times x to the negative 4th over negative 4 plus 6. My last step when I simplify, that 9 is going to stay on top. That negative 4 is going to stay on bottom, but now it's joined by an x to the positive 4th plus c. For question 2, it just asked me to integrate. Here I need to treat each of these 3 terms separately. So when I start with x to the 5/4, I'm adding 1 to the exponent. 1 in terms of fourths is 4/4. So it becomes x to the 5/4 plus 4/4. That gives me a total of 9/4, which is then what I need to divide by. When I get 10x, it's going to become 10x to the 2nd divided by 2. And when I get minus 3, it's going to become minus 3x. Whenever I have an indefinite integral without limits on it, I need to remember my plus c. Now my last step is just going to be cleaning this up a little. This is x to the 9th power under the 4th root. So here I'm going to write 4th root x to the 9th power. Dividing by 9/4 is like multiplying by the reciprocal. So it's like multiplying by 4 over 9. That's where this 4 comes from and this 9 comes from. If I reduce 10 divided by 2, it gives me 5x squared. This negative 3x just stays as is, as does this plus c. For number 3, we start out with the 7th root of x to the 3rd. Before I can integrate, I need to change that into power and root. So it becomes the integral of x to the 3rd power divided by 7th root dx. Just like I did here, I have to understand adding 1 is adding the same thing as 7 out of 7. So when I integrate, it becomes x to, the original was 3/7. If I add 7/7 or 1 to this, it becomes 10/7. I then have to divide by that new exponent. Plus c, because it was an indefinite integral. Cleaning things up, dividing by 10/7 is like multiplying by 7/10. So it becomes 7 over 10. This x to the 10/7 tells me 10th power under the 7th root. X to the 10th power under the 7th root plus c.